Hey, welcome to the Squares of the Round Table podcast. Hope you had a great holiday, and thanks for joining us again. I'm Jeff Stein. With me today is Mike Boyle and Ivan Rivera. Gentlemen, I guess I'll move it over to Jive and Ivan Rivera, who I heard a rumor you're not wearing pants.
No, I'm wearing pants.
Thank goodness.
I'm wearing pants. I'm wearing a shirt. I am fully clothed. Yes, and pretty much stayed that way throughout my time away from the spotlight here. That is the Squares of the Round Table. But where would you like to go first on what happened over the last couple of weeks, or over my reading matter, or some of my other precarious adventures?
What did you do?
Okay. I mean, here we go.
Here we go.
Buckled up, ready.
Let's go.
As far as the Labor Day weekend worked itself out, I was with Julie for the weekend. We had a party to go to with her family and such, and that was very entertaining. And then on Sunday, did my layback, wayback lounge over at Logan Arcade, which was really good. Had a good time there. It was very well attended, and it was a lot of fun. Then following the week out into what happened over this weekend, whereas I did a birthday party / housewarming party and performed over at Cafe Mustache. 2 shots in one day, made a good amount of coin and had a whole lot of fun, and deservedly so. Pretty much stayed in on Sunday outside of a trip to John's Pizzeria, where I treated my beloved to a wonderful, wonderful meal, of which I'm going to partake a little of that after the broadcast tonight. I don't need to eat now because earlier today I was out and about running around with Jules, and then she went to Indiana, and I asked her to have me stop off over at the Logan Theater, to which there were a few movies. None was there, Searching was there, Black Klansman was there, and there was one other, but none really struck my fancy, so decided to walk down to Disco City, to which I bought a couple of nice albums and some nice glass for my collection, so that way I could have some late night listening later. And then made my way to El Cid for a lovely meal, and so I had a taco dinner, which included rice and beans and large soda, which was really, really good. Which leads me to where I was before I got to El Cid, and that was a place called G-Mart. Have you gentlemen ever heard of G-Mart?
No.
Rings a bell, but I'm not sure why.
Okay, G-Mart is a comic book store that's been around since the 1980s, and it's located just down the street from my house at 2641 North Kedzie Avenue. And, of course, you can get a hold of them on Facebook.com at Gmart Comics. You can call them at 773-384-0400 or check them out on their site at www.gmart.com. And it was my first ever time stepping in there, and was pleasantly surprised at all of the great comic books they had, all of the great statues, and all types of ephemera, which really was well stocked with a lot of really great things, and I was very pleased. I'm glad I stopped in. Well, and it's been a while since I've taken comic books home, and I actually found out that there were some comic books that I've been wanting for a long time that I thought I could never get, and found out that I could get them. So I have a few loose links that have taken a long time to finish up. So I'm going to be real happy to get those comic books in, and I will discuss that at a further date. But while I was there, I picked up several sets of comic books. Now, and One of them is the Archie Batman crossover.
Okay, cool.
Oh, that's what I read. I read 1 and 2.
That's right. I just got done reading both 1 and 2. And I have to say that I am very pleasantly surprised at the way the character layouts are treated, the colors, everything about it. The aesthetic of the comic book is outstanding, and very well done. I was very pleased, and I would highly recommend this Holy Comic crossover event, as they call it. Yes, so if you like your Archie cartoons with a little bit of superhero mixed in, yes, definitely take in the Archie Meets Batman 66 series. I'm going to follow it now, and I was, again, very, very pleased. All right, my second set of comic books, actually, it's a continuation of a set that I started with Roger Langridge and Giselle Lassay. And this is from France, and it's a new series of Betty Boop comic books, which I got 1 and 2 about a year ago, and now I just got issues 3 and 4, and it still continues to be an outstanding series of comics. I'm very, very pleased with that particular comic. I mean, it's not your cutesy boop boop a doop lighthearted fare. It actually has a very almost dark overtone about it, and so it's very well done. It's very well drawn. The story's very strong. Each story in each comic book starts and ends. It's not like a continuous thing, like say Archie Meets Batman, but nonetheless entertaining. Very well done. And then my third and last, which is a brand new introduction of comic books I've gotten into. I got 1, 2, and 3 today, and it's Mirka Zandolfo's Unnatural, which is done by Image. And
what Unnatural?
It's called Unnatural.
Okay.
Yeah, the artist is Mirka Andolfo, and Mirka Andolfo has done a number of other comic books, and I think I'll go ahead and take a moment to pull one out and actually go to the back page and give you some of her credentials. And, okay, here we go. Okay, and here we are. All right. Mirka Andolfo is an Italian creator working as an artist at DC Comics. She works on Harley Quinn, she works on Wonder Woman, and DC Bombshells, Vertical, and Young Animal. And she has drawn comics at Marvel, Dynamite, and Aspen Comics. And as a creator, Unnatural, published so far up until this printing, has only been available in Italy, Germany, Spain, Poland, and Mexico. And then her second book, after Sacro Profano, also published in Italy, France, Belgium, the Netherlands, Spain, Germany, and Serbia. And, of course, she can be reached if you're interested in the comic book. It's called Unnatural. You can reach Mirka on her social media channels and on her upcoming website, mirkan.eu. So, and I'm not going to put any spoilers on it, but I have to say that for those people out there who like their anthropomorphic animal graphics with a real heavy bite and a real reality check attached to it, plus a very strong story presence, yes, Unnatural definitely fills your bill. And having been a anthropomorphic graphic novels reader since the early 1980s, I would have to say this is very much, a lot of it's in the same vein as I would say Reed Weller and Kate Worley's Omaha, but not without the without the dancing and not without the cheesy nightclub scenes and the somewhat behind the scenes gritty underbelly that comic had. This is actually more set in a realistic time frame, time place, and the story is really rather engaging. So, and the pictures are beautiful. The characters are are well characterized, well developed, and both figuratively and literally. And it's a great book, and I got through all three comics in one afternoon, and I just couldn't put it down. So, yes, definitely Mirka's Andolfo's Unnatural. 3 issues are out right now. There's a 4th issue coming out October 8th, I think. So, yes, and the series is going to be 11 comics in complete. As a complete comic, it's 11 issues.
I'm looking at some of the art here on online, just in general. I'd say, and in fairness, I'll be honest, I've never been a big fan of the whole furry thing in terms of comics. But I would say you're being disingenuous in the fact that the art is far superior to anything I saw with Omaha. Far more colorful, far more well done. If you do like some of the Harley Quinn look stuff that they've been doing, it's definitely something up your alley if you like that kind of stuff. And I'm just looking at it from a couple things that I Googled off of this, and yeah, like I said, obviously very talented. Kind of reminds me a little bit with some of the gloss look. Reminds me of Adam Hughes, but a little more cartoony.
Yeah. I mean, well, when I talk about Kate Weller and Reed Weller and Kate Worley, I always mix their names up. I mean, back when that whole thing started, I mean, we're still talking flat pages, and okay, the art is not nearly as polished as I would say the art that is in Unnatural, but the story ideas within Omaha the Cat Dancer were very strong and dealt with some very straightforward subject matter for its day. In fact, both artist and illustrator got arrested a few times because it was treated as pornography, but once you get past that particular situation, you read the stories and it's almost like reading a novel with pictures. But that's what Unnatural kind of brought to me. Right. That's what it brought me at the table.
Did you really just say it's like reading a novel with pictures? Yes, Ivan, that's what graphic novels are.
But I'm saying that more people put emphasis on the pictures more than the story, whereas you got some people that actually read the stories and the pictures are kind of the secondary idea. That's what.
Well, that's not really okay. In the 90s, it was all about art and splash pages. It really hasn't been. It hasn't been that way in a long time. And don't get me wrong, there's still a lot about the art, and I get it. But at the same time, it's not nearly as much as it is. If anything, the only thing I will say about today's comics is there's a lot more that's done with splash pages and there's more of that kind of stuff where it's not as densely packed in terms of the material, in terms of the written material. It was funny. A few years back, actually, it's been longer than that now that I think about it. But when George Perez wrote Superman, one of the complaints was that there was too much writing and not enough pictures, which is interesting because to me it felt like in the old days there was a lot more that got done in a 22-page comic than what gets done now. But
I'd agree with that.
Want those visuals more.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like I said, But I do think, Ivan, there's more about story now than there was in the past.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that there isn't more, but I'm saying from what I've read today, and from what I've looked at today, I mean, I actually sat here and read the comics. I didn't just sit there and just ogle at the pictures, or all that other jazz. But the only other thing too, what I've noticed is for example, like in the Archie Meet Batman, DC comic, I'm like holding it in my hands here, and it's like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm like 6 or 7 of the pages is like advertising and other things within the frame of the book, maybe a full shot of the comic, and advertising and stuff. And I keep thinking, well, they could. 1 and 2 could have made for a more complete comic book for me. I guess maybe there's just not enough pages in here. But
well, DC does have to promote a lot of their other material. They have cross sells.
Well, and keep in mind too, if they're crossing with Archie, that means Archie's got to get pages too to promote their stuff too in that book. So
yeah, okay, because I'm looking at it now, and after the last page, which of course again not giving spoilers, there's the variant cover gallery. Okay, you have the announcement of the Jughead the Hunger pages, the advertisement for the next generation of the Teen Titans on Blu-ray, the official Betty and Veronica merch, the Jurassic World card pack advertisement, the Marvel Spider-Man fully interchangeable posable statuettes that they got here, Archie Super Teen versus Crusaders, the Archie Comics Riverdale essential reading for fans of the show, which also have their sub books. They also have the Retro Archie 1941, which is coming this September, which they're taking Archie all the way back to the beginning. Classic Archie advertisement in the end, and Dark Knight's Metal advertisement. Then, of course, the next issue full shot of the cover that they have for the next issue. The advertisement for Riverdale, new episodes only on the CW and CW app. Season 1 and 2 now streaming. So yeah, I guess maybe I was looking for more comic book than advertising for what I paid for.
How many pages is it total, including with all the ads, Ivan?
With all the ads, okay, here we go. Let me go ahead and count them out. 1, 2, let's see, 3. So there's 10 plus 7 pages of advertisement.
There's only 17 pages in the whole book?
Yeah.
No, that can't be right.
Yeah, 17 pages all together, front and back. 17 pages.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
How much?
17 pages.
How much is the book?
10 pages makes up the comic book, and the other 7 pages makes up.
How much is the comic book itself?
Well, the comic book itself is $3.95.
Oof. Yeah, this is where the comic industry is going to have their problem, in my opinion. Is we're getting to a point where I can buy or rent Avengers Infinity War and I come out ahead. Or I can get Death of Superman and I come out ahead. I just don't. At some point, this gets to a point where it's like kind of crazy. The only thing I can think of is, this is where a lot of the ideas are generated, though, and this is where they get ideas for characters for movies and stuff like that. So at this point, okay, you don't care that you're maybe getting only 100,000 people to buy the books because really in reality there's an entire group of individuals who love your product but don't buy the comics but watch your TV shows, buy all the merch, go to the movies and see all the stuff.
Okay, just like, all right, in the Betty Boop books from Dynamite Comics, I've got 18 pages and it's all comic from front to back.
No ads, either end?
Both ends, from start to finish, is all comic.
Let
me see.
I don't know. Like I said, I'll be honest, I haven't bought anything in a little bit, and what I have bought has usually been graphic novels. So I can't answer that. I just know that I know the answer at some point is digital, but there's something about holding a book in my hands that I'd rather have.
Right. As well. Me too.
But I know that's going to change. I mean, that's we're not the generation that's going to change that. I would imagine probably there in 20, 30 years, the books will be less common.
Okay. Well, and then, just another point here, just before we go on. Yeah, I just counted off the Image comic of Unnatural, and that also has 10 pages of actual comic and let me see, two drawn full page comic, and then a couple of pages of advertising for the same price point. So against the three that I had here, Dynamite gave me more bang for the buck as far as story.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. They may not. I wonder how many books Dynamite has to sell to get ahead versus, say, DC or Image or even Archie, because
well, that just goes right back to the whole independent comic book situation. Now, I figure being an independent comic book, they don't have the supporters or the sponsorships that the majors do, whereas I guess they have to work a little harder to get their product out there because they don't have the endorsement of all those big, franchises and companies and sponsorships. Maybe.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it depends. It really kind of depends on who some of the talent is and who some of the artists are.
Right.
Yeah. If you have somebody with a decent following or background, it doesn't necessarily mean that that can't be a hit at some place like Dynamite or a smaller company like that. To me, that's kind of where it's gotten interesting, is because, the truth is, the amount of comics that Robert Kirkman had to sell for The Walking Dead to be considered a success is far less than what Marvel has to sell to have a title be successful for them. I mean, when I say successful, I mean, I think Walking Dead maybe, if I remember the numbers, and I could be wrong, I want to be clear with this. If I remember correctly, Walking Dead, I mean, they may only sell 20,000 copies of Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Of that book, versus where, if Spider-Man doesn't do six figures in comic books sold, it's not successful.
Well, okay.
They'll drop that story, yeah.
So okay, and also too. All right, I know your aversion to the whole, anthropomorphic and characters in comic books against actual real people in comic books. Now, do you think that real people in comic books against anthropomorphic? Do you think that they have the same type of numbers? Do you think one sells more or one sells less?
I can't answer that. I don't know those off the top of my head. That's something where we'd have to go get somebody to get those answers. But, I don't know that they need more, Ivan, because it's the industry's changed. And Mike, I think you can speak to this too. The industry's changed. You don't need to sell a crap load of books to be successful.
Oh, no. I know. I mean, because with all the other media that's out there, I think the comic book has almost come down to the lower common denominator now against the movie.
No, I don't even mean that way, though, Ivan.
You don't even need a publisher.
Right.
Well, no, you're right. Yeah, I mean, you go ahead, you make the panels at home, you shop them, you print them, you put them up on the page, you line them up, you lay them out, you do what you have to do with them. Heck, I mean, e-comics are everywhere now. I mean, who needs the paper? Who needs to do the paper? I mean, who needs to do any of the
paper is so popular.
The paper is still popular. Yeah, the paper is still popular. I mean, again, I don't know if it's a generational thing, but I think because it's just like the records. I mean, people are like, oh yeah, well, I I have to engage in order to enjoy this record. I have to pull it out of the sleeve. I have to put it on the table. I have to play it. Just like the comic book. I had to take it out of the protective sleeve. I open it. I read it. I engage in it. I have to, I'm sitting still or whatever it is I might be in the middle of doing. I have to stop and actually read the comic book and engage with it, which, okay, but just like anything else, like if you're watching a television show or you're watching a movie, I mean, you have to stop and take the time. But I guess it's all a matter of how you want to spend that time trying to get to those stories. I mean, and I think now, I don't think the comic book is as essential, maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's the wrong word. As, say, if you had your choice to see Spider-Man, how would you like to see Spider-Man? Would you go to the movie first? Would you go to the comic book first? Would you go to the television show next? Or any one of the three, or all of them?
Well, I hear that Spider-Man video game is pretty good. It just came out this week.
Yeah, I haven't picked up. Well, I don't have a PlayStation, so that's kind of annoying too. Why is it that it's only available for PlayStation and it's not available for Xbox? When did that stop?
It becomes licensing again. It's all about the licensing.
Well, that's true because Sony owns. That's true because Sony owns PlayStation and Sony owns the rights to Spider-Man. So sure, okay,
so that's a big middle finger to Microsoft and Xbox. Middle finger to
exactly. So that you want this, you want the licensing of this, you're going to have to pull out the big money for this thing because we can't.
Other than that, it's they already have the license, and it's, hey, we can make this content, and if you want it, you need to own a PlayStation 4. I think it's interesting because it used to be, I sound like an old school gamer with old school console gamer, which is, if they made it for one, they usually made it for the other. Well, they don't really do that anymore.
No, they don't do that anymore because they see the sellability. I guess that's a terrible word, but of that, of that thing. Why are we gonna give away this technology to everybody else when we can make all the money for ourselves?
But I mean, some of them are still that way. I mean, like Madden will be across both platforms.
But I think that sports games are a little bit more wide-reaching. Like a lot of sports games, come in multi-format. But I think things that are involved with, say, comic books or motion pictures are a little less so, depending on who's licensing the product or who's creating the product for the licensing of the product. I mean, that might have a lot to do with that.
Yeah, maybe. I do want to go backwards because Mike's point was dead on, which is, Mike, how many times have you been to a convention and there's some guy with a table and he's got a whole bunch of books that they found a local printer and they did that whole thing and they're selling their stuff?
Yeah, a lot of indie comics find that way out. And they'll just use, if you like my comic, send me $1 on Patreon.
Yeah, that's it.
Use crowdfunding. That helps that. Or we have a crowdfunding project to get books made. If we reach a goal, we'll get books made and we'll send them out to you.
Right, there's that too. I know that like Ivan mentioned about like the online strips that are out there, and I know that there are quite a few. When they get to a certain point, they'll take those and they'll make those into actual books. Right. They'll make those into actual graphic novels or trade papers, and they'll put those out there. But again, I think it's so. I mean, to get to your point, to get back to the original point you were trying to get to, Ivan, I don't know that it necessarily. You're talking about that it's all about those bigger avenues, and it is. But my point is that, like, what's the anthropomorphic stuff? You're asking me about what kind of numbers. Because of its niche and that there are people that are into that or like that, I don't know that they need to sell. I don't think they need to sell nearly the numbers to make a profit as you might think to get that to work.
Okay, so basically, yes, because I'm into the anthropomorphic comics, and the anthropomorphic comics rather not our mainstream remains to be seen, but I think because of what it is and people who like that kind of artistry, who like that kind of storytelling, who like that kind of image, that animated image on the pages, or even less so on video or any type of media for that matter. But yeah, you're right. It is a niche market, and yeah, I guess it caters to a lot less of the populace than say the
But
super.
you're missing the point. The point I'm getting at is that there's quite like the zombie stuff. Like when Walking Dead started, Ivan, it was a niche market. It wasn't something where, or even like Sin City, they weren't exactly books that, they sold a lot of books and they were popular, but if you looked at the numbers of what they sold to be successful versus what the numbers of DC or Marvel sell to be successful, it's nowhere near.
But then what you're not getting is that zombies are still people. Okay, Sin City is still a person-based style.
Right.
Okay, see, I'm talking that, okay, as far as the anthropomorphic comic is concerned, yeah, I can see your point that, yeah, they don't need the big numbers to sell the amount of books because it is that thing. It is that niche market. But I'm thinking, has that particular market increased as time has gone on, or do you think it's still it's still under the basis of, okay, well, it's what it is, it's what you like, it's what you buy. Will anything even bigger come of it? Well, nobody knows for sure on that point. I mean, having read these comics since the 80s, I've yet to see any real major releases on any of these type of graphic novels or books. And if there are out there, I'm not aware of them, or they might not even be released here in the United States. They could be more common around the other parts of the world.
Right, that's where I was going to go. And Mike might know a little bit more on this. I'm not as big on the manga stuff, but I feel like I would say there's a mix within some of the stuff that's done manga that goes a little more that direction that is quite popular. But I could be very wrong about that.
Yeah, it's definitely an avid subculture to it, and if you do it right, you can make some dough doing it, especially if you attend the niche conventions and get yourself in certain circles through social media. Yeah,
I would say, Ivan, I would say that it depends on what you're looking for.
Yeah, and these days, we've talked about there's something for everyone out there nowadays.
Well, right. Yeah, of course.
Well, I mean, but to take it a step further, if you're looking for stuff that's more American style, I can't answer that question. But like Mike and I were just talking about just now, there is stuff that's out there that's more the Japanese style that does some of that stuff in terms of the manga hentai styles that are out there, and those sell like gangbusters. So it's really just a matter of,
geography?
Well, not necessarily geography. I mean, there are some people we've had this conversation before where you've said, "Oh, I can't stand how all the cartoon stuff looks like the stuff that comes from Japan that's overseas, and we don't see classic American styles anymore." Now, if you don't like that, then yes, the amount of types of comics that are in that version that you're talking about that niche, yeah, that goes down. But if you're willing to look at some of the manga type stuff, yeah, those numbers go up.
Okay, see that was what I was kind of going after, and I guess that satisfies my curiosity on that particular. But yeah, I myself, okay, yeah, having the mind that I have, as I'm sure the mind of many who, yeah, we like that kind of story presentation. We like that type of thing because I've noticed that throughout the anthropomorphic sensibility. Not saying that it's typical of all anthropomorphic cartoons and / comic books or whatever media that you put in. It's not always true that they all have strong stories and take on and tackle tough issues and are just more in your face in a lot of cases. And yeah, it's very adult driven, of course. Because I guess, you have adults that, I could, I can engage in something, for a superhero situation. But if I'm not into superheroes, I would like to have something more of a story-based situation with these type of pictures. And yeah, if they use human characterizations, okay, great. I'm all about it if they use it. And then if they have anthropomorphic, presentations to it. Okay, sure. All right. I have no aversion to that. I mean, and there are people that do have aversions to that, especially for those who, don't care for, the furry sensibilities of whatever that presents itself. But that's okay, because again, there's something for everybody. I just, I go to the banquet table and I like to make a salad when I eat. I like to mix it up.
Okay. Oh, and I did check that website. It's g-mart.com is their website, that comic store.
Oh, okay. G-Mart? Yeah.
Yeah, it's g-mart.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And right now they're running a 35% off new comic.
35%?
Percent. 35%. Okay. Percent of new comic pre-orders, and then 200,000 plus back issues. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be spending some time over there now.
Okay, man. Good.
Yeah. So wow, see, I did some research, I did some homework, and I got to pick up on a whole bunch of great new comics, man. I'm happy.
All right, there you go, man.
Yep. Mike? What you said you got the Archie. Batman 66 Dots.
Yeah, I did get 1 and 2, like Ivan. I don't think, number 3 is not out yet. But I did read 1 and 2, and it's pretty funny. And you can hear Burt Ward and Adam West.
Yes.
And
did you hear their voices in your head?
You heard Julie Lamar, and I even read it with my Burgess Meredith. So.
I thought I was the only one that did that.
Yeah, it was great. It was funny. Of course, I was oblivious to the fact that there were so many ads in it. I didn't care. It was a fun story.
Okay.
Oh no, I mean, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that for the length of for the size of the book, I'm just thinking they could have put 1 and 2 in one book plus the ads and just had one book instead of 2 smaller books.
I ain't gonna give out too many spoilers, but I did find it hilarious when the Riddler recruited Reggie.
Yeah,
that was awesome. It's great. Yeah, it's funny. I'm gonna follow it through its conclusion. So because I'm just a big Adam West Batman. So
yeah,
it's all good. No, I had a good time over. Well, let's see. This was a nice weekend here. I'm better than my Labor Day weekend. I worked all Labor Day weekend. Sunday, I even helped a buddy move because I have a truck. People say, "Hey, help me move," and I'm like, eh. So, and of course, that was the weekend. It was 90 degrees and humid. So,
oh God, you poor man.
So, but I did get a little bit of grilling in over Labor Day weekend.
But
and this weekend was nice. I got a lot of stuff done over the house here. Got some shelving put up and getting rid of some stuff in the laundry room. I'm still on that let's have the more again kind of thing going on with the purge in the laundry room and my basic, just rearranging my surroundings. So, but no, it was good. I had a good weekend, and like I said, we had a barbecue up in Wisconsin. Sorry you couldn't make it, Ivan. They were asking about you. So
yeah, I was gonna say yeah. I mean, I saw some of the pictures on Facebook, and looked like you guys had a rocking good time over there.
Yeah, it was good. We had a good time. So
yeah, I did TKO. Did anybody buzz about that?
No, I didn't. I didn't hear about that. Oh, okay. Well, I'll have to listen to that one.
Yeah, it's pretty filthy, but
Yeah, they are pretty raunchy over there at the TKO. They were.
Yeah.
Wow.
TKO is another podcast.
It's
pretty much a Transformers podcast, but it's pretty dank.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty raw, and
all right, man. Cool.
And I got invited. I got invited over. They wanted me to guest, so I came by and I guessed it, and and of course let fire off on all cylinders while everybody was doing their groovy thing. So yeah.
So this episode is published? I'm going to check this out later, obviously.
I think it's number 57, yeah.
Okay, I do subscribe to them because I'm most Transformers podcasts I do follow and listen to sometimes. What else?
We need to ask him the obvious question. Did you pimp the show, Ivan?
Did I pimp the show?
Did you promote our podcast?
Yeah.
I believe I did.
You did. And we need to proofread this. We're going to check it.
You go check it.
Okay. What else? That was about it. I said I had a nice time last weekend at the barbecue, and it was had a good time.
The Watchy show, did they talk about how Transformers have sex?
No, well, they basically they went on. They gave me a run sheet as to what they were going to do on the show that day. So, I kind of glanced over it and checked it out, and yeah, it's basically going against the knockoffs, and they did a personal interview with me, the 13 questions, and they also they put up pictures of their favorite females, and of course, what they thought of them, and and then I kind of came back around and kind of added in my little 2 cents. Hey guys, if you had all the money in the world, what would be your 2 favorite automobiles that you would drive? And they asked about my record collection. They asked about how I got into Transformers. They asked about some of the adventures that you and me have gone on, and and everything else. And yeah, so it was just overall just kind of they looked at the pictures that they had set up on their Skypes and such, and they were kind of saying, well, this knockoff is da 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 da, and they just went on and on about that.
Okay.
And again, it's just it's very raunchy. It's a lot of cursing, a lot of swearing, a lot of men's night out type stuff. And so, yeah, but it was cool. I enjoyed the experience, and if they ever invite me again, yeah, sure, I'd go back and check it out and
promote the podcast.
Promote the podcast.
Yes, about that.
That's your job, Ivan. And maybe hand you business cards or something. That'd be good. Maybe I'm thinking in a kind of a 20th century kind of way, but business cards might work. Maybe I have some printed up in time for TFCon next month.
Well, you should make actual plugger cards. Those would actually be more the grandstanding type of way to go.
What cards?
Plugger cards. Yeah, they're like 3x5 cards. Plugger cards.
We use them business cards, but
no, but they're bigger, and you can put more on them, and they got more of a way about them. We use them in the DJ industry. Plugger card.
All right.
And yeah.
Okay, man.
And so so that way you stand them up on a little rack. People pull them up. They see the nice graphic. You get all the information on there that you want to get on there. They don't cost any more than business cards, so it's a good thing.
Okay, man. All right, we'll look into it. We'll have some promotional material to pass out at TFCon. That's coming up in 6 weeks. Let's see what else. I don't think I had anything else. Like I said, we just got this nice shelving unit set up, and I got these nice lights for displaying my figures, and it's nice. So yeah, I'm just improving how I'm living in my docimile. The place I live, the place I live at. Cribs. We're gonna have a Squares of the Round Table Cribs episode on maybe on Facebook Live or something.
Ugh.
That would be cool. I would like that.
Cribs. All right, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty boring, but I had a couple of good times. I got to talk to Ray, and he just come back from Europe. He had a great trip, so got to see Ray again. That's great. And his son, he's 6-year-old kid. He was with us for the barbecue. Good kid. So, you had a good time. Oh, and Matt says hello.
Wonderfulness.
So, it's all good, man. So, okay, Jeff, how about you? What'd you do?
Let's see. Well, I did see Crazy Rich Asians.
Okay.
Which was far better than I thought it would be. Quite funny, a lot of fun. You know, it's pretty straightforward to what it is, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. A lot of fun music. It was quite funny. You know, I hadn't seen what Singapore looks like these days, but wow, it looks incredible from some of the sites and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, I saw it on a $5 Tuesday, and it was really worth seeing. I put it as a high recommend. It was fun. It was a good, solid 2 hours of laughing and having a good time. So yeah, if you're looking for something right now, there's a reason why that movie's doing well, and it's definitely worth seeing. That's one. Let's see, what else? Got a chance to get over to Superdog. It's been a while, which is always good. Superdog is always worth doing.
I miss Superdogs.
I love Superdogs.
Yep, Superdog is. I ended up getting a burger. I was surprised. It was better than I expected. Usually it's hot dogs or Polish, but the burger was surprisingly good. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, drafted fantasy football, and I think I'm okay, but I'm not sure. I'm not positive of it. That was another, and I'm trying to think of anything else. Oh, obviously, by the time this airs, it will have been a few days since the Bears and the Packers, and I should be fine by then.
Yeah.
I should be fine by then. We'll see. But I think the only other thing is I do have coming up is Saturday is Batman Day, and instead I'm going to be a different superhero. I'm going to be a Toastmaster. I'm going to be Toastmaster for the day for the E63 area contest at the Niles, Illinois Public Library, and that starts at 10 a.m. I believe the doors open at 9. So if people want to check out the Toastmasters for that area, table topics and evaluation, I'll be the hostess with the mostest on that particular morning. And I'm in the process of writing a seminar for the Sparks ongoing D6 Star Wars campaign. That's going to be for the Gamers Conclave coming up in October. Did my first sit down with somebody on that, and should be a lot of fun. I think we're going to go a really unique direction with it, and I don't want to give anything away just in case there's people listening, but I feel like it's time to shake a few things up, and it's been a long time since I've written anything for the campaign. Campaigns existed for 20 plus years, so and I was writing for it a long time ago, and it's been a while since I've done any writing for it, so I'm looking forward to that opportunity to try to shake things up and make things a little bit different. And yeah, I mean those are the big things at the moment. That and Jewish holidays are coming up, so try to get through those and have my moment of atonement and all that other stuff.
You had a nice Rosh Hashanah?
Yeah, we ended up at De Pescara up in Northbrook, and which is one of the Lettuce Entertaining places, and it was like $42. There's like a beginning course with like salad and chopped liver. I'm not a chopped liver person. And then they do soup, matzo ball soup, and then they do full course with there was salmon, there was brisket, there was chicken, they had kasha, they had Israeli couscous, they had potato pancakes, they had carrots, and the key to then they did a dessert portion, which was like this flourless chocolate cake, and they did like some sort of apple crostini kind of thing, and they had like these almond bark chocolate candies. But the key to all this is it's family style, and it's pretty much all you can eat. So if you want more, you can get more. So it's a pretty, considering the price point, it's a pretty phenomenal deal. I mean, took home enough for at least a couple of meals for the next couple of days.
Okay.
So yeah, that's kind of where things have been. Saw Ready Player One again on demand. That was pretty good.
And I'm meaning to catch that.
Yeah, I saw it again. It holds up just as well. Saw with a friend, and I rewatched Infinity War with a friend, and again, still holds up too. So,
yeah, I still want to watch it with the director's commentary with the Russo brothers yet. I haven't done that yet.
No, we didn't watch it with that because, quite frankly, our commentary was much more fun. Came very close to watching the first episode of Iron Fist Season 2, but if we did that, we were totally going to do it as Mystery Science 3000 because that first Iron Fist was so bad, we were just going to sit there and make fun of it and trash it the whole time because it's just that horrible. But yeah, I think that's kind of everything that's gone on. It's been quiet since the convention. Everything got quiet after the convention got done. Thank God. That was a long week.
Okay.
But hey, by the way,
go ahead, Jeff.
I have something for you. Apparently, I don't know if you're aware. We were talking about zombies earlier. Apparently, there's an organization called the Zombie Research Society.
This is an actual thing.
Yeah, apparently so. And they have given us the top 10 safest countries during a zombie pandemic attack. The various countries were evaluated for overpopulation of over a 5 million population and determined to be which ones were equipped to handle a zombie pandemic. They took in several factors, including population density, climate, topography, gun ownership rate, military capability, natural resources, and public infrastructure. So, ladies and gentlemen, I figure we could have a little bit of fun with this gentleman.
Okay.
Do you care to take a wager as to which countries are in the top 10 and why?
Let's see. I suppose the most modernized country. I presume we're close to number one, the United States.
The United States is number 3 with over 83 people per square mile. The U.S. is considerably more dense than any other country in the top 5, but is heavily armed citizenship. It's more than ready for the battle than most.
Drat, guns, America.
What do you think, Ivan? Where do you want to go next?
Finland.
Yes, Finland is number 8.
Pating, number 8. Where's Richard Dawson when you need him?
The Finnish benefit from being surrounded by other countries, strong in zombie survivability, and their low population density of just 41 people per square mile doesn't hurt either.
Okay, reason why I said Finland, because Finland is number 1 in the world in their education.
So you get the smartest zombies.
Yeah.
Interesting concept.
I don't think that was taken into account.
I know, but I'm just saying that, yeah, I mean, that's why Finland kind of came to my head there.
All right.
But the people there are smart enough to kill all the zombies.
We have number 3. We have number 8. Gentlemen, what else? Let's see if we can do this family food style. What else you got?
Let's see.
How about England?
England.
Hold on. I got
Jolly old England town. It's got to be up there.
No.
Great Britain is not on the list?
No, it is not.
Oh.
I have a guess as to why they have no guns in that country.
Right.
Okay, well then let's take a place that they have lots of guns. Germany.
No, Germany. I don't think would be on the
hold
list.
on, I'm looking on the list. I
don't think so.
Yeah, I'm checking. Hold on. No, Germany is not on the list.
Well, I got to say, with one of the what do you call it, the modern world. So, what else is there?
South America?
Australia.
Australia is number 1.
Nice. Boom. Nice.
Okay.
Shrimp on that barbie.
The vast nation grabs the top spot because of its population density, 7.5 people per square mile,
Yep.
and the fact that it is the world's biggest moat, surrounding it on all sides.
It's an island, yeah. That's why I thought Great Britain would be up on the list, but they just don't have enough guns there to protect against the zombies.
There's other reasons. I don't know.
Yeah.
How about South America?
That's a continent, and that's not a country.
Continent.
Okay, Brazil.
Brazil is not on this list.
No.
Okay.
There's lots of jungle to live in, but...
I will tell you, there is a country on the top 10 that is in South America, though.
What's that?
You gotta get. Actually, I take it back. There are 2 countries that are in South America.
Okay.
Colombia?
No.
Buenos Aires.
Argentina, yes. Buenos Aires is a city.
Okay.
The country of Buenos Aires.
The country of Buenos Aires.
Okay, you characters.
Argentina comes in at number 9, the 8th largest country in the world by landmass. Argentina is sandwiched between the Andes Mountains and the Atlantic Ocean. Its urbanization keeps it from climbing higher on this list.
All right. Where else do they have guns?
Doesn't necessarily have to be guns.
I don't think Mexico. I'm thinking guns. I'm thinking America. Surprised we're not number 1. Why aren't we number 1? Oh, yeah, we don't have a... We don't have
a vote. Do you want to go there?
Why aren't we number 1?
The scary part is who's number 2. We haven't got there.
Maybe Spain or Portugal, because it's like we're at like the 3/4. They're mostly surrounded by water.
Spain is not on the list.
Oh, okay.
How about Puerto Rico?
No.
It's surrounded by water. Hawaii?
That's not a nation.
America, we already got there, Ivan.
Okay, fine.
The nation of Hawaii.
The nation of Hawaii.
Okay, well, how about what used to be the Soviet Union, or, USSR?
Russia, you mean.
Russia, dang, number 4.
There you go.
Low population density, huge land barriers, and a battle-tested people give Russia the number 4 spot. If the Nazis couldn't take Leningrad, there's no reason to think Nazi zombies will.
Nazi zombies. We ain't taking it either.
Okay, Korea?
Korea is not on the list. I will give you a hint. I told you there were 2 countries in South America.
Well, you said Argentina already, so...
Yeah, and I told you no Brazil.
Chile?
Nope.
Paraguay?
Nope.
Something that's not landlocked. Has to be along the ocean.
Panama?
Panama's in Central America, buddy.
Okay.
Yeah, the Central America is technically North America.
No.
Not
okay.
Mexico. I don't think Mexico
Want
would
me
be.
to start listing off the ones, or you want to keep guessing?
All right, let's go. Let's go from number 10 down.
Number 10, Sweden.
Oh yeah, up there it's cold. The zombies don't like the cold. They're even slower.
A favorable small population and many natural defenses helped Sweden capture the 10th spot. Its military is well trained, well equipped, and solely focused on national defense. 9, we talked about it, was Argentina. 8 was Finland. The Finnish benefit from being surrounded by other countries strong in zombie survivability, and their low population density of just 41 people per square mile doesn't hurt either. Number 7, Norway.
Yeah, all the way up to Scandinavia, yeah.
Norway came in second in the gold medal in the 2010 Winter Olympics, showing they know how to thrive in icy conditions. They snowy land and a very few hardy people as a recipe for survival.
Yeah.
Number 6, here's that other country, the other South American country, Bolivia.
Bolivia?
With mountains to protect their neighbors and the worst economy in South America, Bolivians are used to managing without modern conveniences and can ably defend themselves. Number 5, Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan, what?
Borat made the whole world laugh at this little country, but Kazakhstan may get the last laugh. The rugged terrain, formidable climate, and extremely low population density are key survival factors. We talked about Russia being number 4, the United States being number 3. Here's the one I think you'll find amusing. Number 2, surpassing America.
The what?
Number 2 surpassing America? Oh, Canada.
Oh, of course. Oh, of course.
Canada.
Though its 35 million residents are packed along a thin strip at the country's southern border, gun ownership is common, and there's plenty of room to head north when the stuff hits the fan. And of course, number 1, we mentioned Australia. There was an honorable mention for New Zealand.
Yeah, another island.
Because its population falls a little short of the study. And it has a similar background to Australia. But
yeah.
Again, this comes from the Zombie Research Society of the 10 safest countries during a zombie pandemic. I will question the United States one, having watched The Walking Dead.
I go to New Zealand just to survive the zombie apocalypse in a hobbit hole.
Huh?
Yes, the hobbits. Well, like I said, I thought you guys would get a kick out of that.
Okay. Zombie nations. Okay, we know where to go. Canada's not far, eh?
Hey,
Wisconsin, it's like Canada, eh?
yeah, well, nah, except they've got the Packers.
Yeah. Yeah, we know how we feel about the Packers.
There's only one thing more I don't like more than Packer fans. It's zombie Packer fans.
Oh my God, that'd be a horror. Now that'd be something. Could you imagine if you were all sitting around? Actually, they sound like zombies in the stadium. Go Pack, go!
Oh yeah, between plays, yeah, they all like chant like sheep.
Go Pack, go! Need more brains. God. Ivan, you know how many Packer jokes there are in the world?
Millions.
Well, actually, no, 1, because the rest are true.
Yeah. Last week was season 1 of the NFL. And Sunday Night Football was the classic rivalry between the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers.
The oldest.
They lost by 1.
Yeah.
What's the record now? I heard we might. I heard for a long time. I think we were tied.
I think we were tied up until the 3rd quarter.
All time.
Oh, of all time?
Yeah, like all time. Hold on, Bears Packers rivalry here.
Yeah. You mean the total win-loss record?
Yeah.
I know John Fox. We got a lot of victories from him.
Yeah.
They're ahead by 3 games. 97 and 94 with 6 ties.
Wow.
Actually, here, ready? They had not. This is the scary part. Here's the scary part, gentlemen. For as bad and as horrible as the Bears have been in the last 20, 30 years, they only surpassed the Packers in the all-time series in 2017. It's the first time they've led the series since 1932.
That's sad.
It kind of is when you start thinking about it. It is really sad. That should tell you, just for all their bluster about how great they are, how is it that, like, even like when they had Favre and they had all those guys, somehow the Bears were still ahead? How is that even possible? Yeah, what is it? According to this, including NFL championships between the two clubs, 22 NFL championships, 13 for Green Bay, and 9 for us, including 5 Super Bowls between us. So there you go. But we do have more Hall of Famers than they do, including Urlacher now it's 34-31. So. But we don't serve their kind here. No kidding. Actually, kind of not.
There's only one thing I hate more than a zombie Packer fan. It's an Illinois zombie Packer fan.
Oh my God.
What's that, Ivan? Are you?
Yeah, you did.
Oh my.
This show's been flushed.
I did that on purpose. That's because we don't care about them Packers.
Oh, is that what that was for?
Yeah.
Pushing Packer fans? Okay. So much for getting lit. So much for the Wisconsin listenership. Oh, God. I did find a really...
You feel better, Ivan?
I didn't do anything.
Oh, okay. All right. It was just a sound effect. Okay. I was just...
Right,
wait a minute. Is Ivan podcasting? Okay. He's not. Okay. Okay. Ivan's not podcasting from the toilet.
No,
it was just a sound effect.
Okay. Well, like I said, yeah,
Got a rise out of you.
No, I still remember as a kid, we used to, like, when the Packer fans used to come down to Soldier Field, and we used to, like, we knew what overpasses they taking 94 in. So you just kind of, like, you kind of stand over the overpasses, and you'd have, like the bags of stuff, and you just drop it right on the car.
Now, living on the Illinois-Wisconsin border, not literally on it, I'm close to it. I'm within 15 miles of the Wisconsin border.
Yeah.
We have these stories about the rivalries and what happens in bars. Some years ago, there was an incident where a Packer fan was rooting for them at a bar in Illinois, and the Packers were winning. So all the Bear fans, they took the guy, they carried him outside, and they duct taped him to a stoplight. And a local policeman drove past and did not free him because he was wearing Packers hat or whatever.
Yeah, well.
And the cop got in trouble because the guy, it wasn't like frigid cold, but it was cold enough, and I guess the cop got in trouble for not freeing the guy because the guy was duct taped to a stoplight and couldn't get out. So.
Wow.
Yeah, well.
This was some years ago, but the rivalry is still strong today.
It's okay. I mean, they have to have something up there because, I mean, they lack indoor plumbing, so, you know,
Not all Wisconsinites are alike. Some are almost respectable.
Some of them have teeth. There are others that are larger than I am, and I'm a really big man. There are women that make me cower in fear. There are women at the games that should be back or offensive and defensive line. That's all
Are you saying that the women there, the Packers field has to be, the seats are lined with steel because they're there?
Those are really strong seats, I'm sure.
No, because the steel gives.
Wow.
Like I said, it was funny. Somebody said there the other day, it's like, well, how come all you guys come up there? Well, we're supporting your horrible economy.
It's true. Illinois does.
It's because you have dinner because our dollars make it so.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
They like Illinois money, but not much else.
And speeding tickets. They like to give Illinois people speeding
Yes.
Oh, that is so true.
Oh, my God.
That is so true.
Knock on wood, I've been to Wisconsin for many, many years, and I've not gotten a speeding ticket from up there.
I'm not saying that out loud. I'm not saying that out loud because as soon as I do, I'll have a speeding ticket.
Well, I remember one time coming back, and it was a guy just, sitting out there with his girlfriend who had to go ahead and, stop me, and this was back when I was still driving the Mustang and everything. And yeah, he had to stop me to impress his girlfriend. It was late in the evening, and he had to show off.
Why was the cop's girlfriend in the car?
I have no idea.
Sure she wasn't quote unquote hired help for that weed night?
All I know is that she found the whole thing quite amusing. I was pissed off. That stop cost me $150.
Ivan, are you sure it was his girlfriend and not his mom? Oh, wait, it could be the same person. Man, we're so good at getting... Write your comments and things, too. No, God.
You like the Packers?
This is what we Bears?
Could you imagine what this would sound like if the Packers hadn't won? Good Lord, we'd never be.
Oh my gosh!
It's like a moral victory. Like, hey, the Bears didn't suck horribly. Like,
I'm glad we were able to use this podcast as therapy for Jeff and I.
Oh God.
I need some therapy when I found out that Burt Reynolds died.
Yeah, we haven't talked. Wow, I forgot about that.
Man, I was 9 years old. I'm doing jumps on my bicycle pretending I'm Bandit. Man, that sucked.
Okay, so best favorite Burt Reynolds movies. Obviously, Smokey and the Bandit, but
I liked Smokey and the Bandit 2.
Okay.
Because it had Dom DeLuise as the doctor. They had to transport the elephants across the country, not just the beer run.
Was he in that too? Okay.
No, Dom DeLuise wasn't in the first one. He was in the second one.
Okay.
Cannonball Run was one of my favorites.
Cannonball Run to me. Yeah, Cannonball Run. Looking to see what else we got.
Obviously the Longest Yard. And he was good in Boogie Nights. He had only a small role in it, but he was up there. He won the Golden Globe for that.
Wasn't he in Striptease with Demi Moore?
Yes. Yes, he was. That's the first movie where Demi Moore gets naked. It's awesome.
Wise guys on Facebook posting pictures of Norm Macdonald from the Jeopardy sketch going, rest in peace, Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, I'm trying to look. You know what else he was in that it gave me an excuse to put it out there, put the musical stuff out there. He was in the Best Little Whorehouse in Texas.
Yes, Dolly Parton. That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, it's really crazy. I didn't realize how many movies he's in with Dom DeLuise.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like the fourth movie that, like, off the top of my head, I'm like, okay, I guess they really were buddies. It's like, wow, okay. Yeah, I'm looking to see if there's anything. I'm on IMDb to see if there's anything else that I'm missing.
And I almost was able to go my entire life, but it was a TMZ, I think it was, that posted the picture of him from Playgirl with his legs crossed. I'm like, I didn't need to see that.
Most women did. Most women did. I mean, there were a lot of weird. I mean, I remember there's a movie that he did with. He did a movie with Clint Eastwood, and it was a big deal at the time. I can't remember the name of it. I want to call it like City Heat or something like that.
I remember I was in broadcasting school when the divorce between him and Lonnie Anderson was all the news.
Oh, brother. Yeah, I remember all that.
Yeah,
and then of course, his big affair with Sally Field.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was a lot earlier than that. And then, it's funny because there's a lot of, like, these movies where it's all about cars with him, because it's like, there's Cannonball Run, there's Smokey and the Bandit, and then there's Stroker Ace.
I remember Stroker Ace.
Stroker Ace was amusing, too. Sharky's Machine. I forgot about Sharky's Machine. Was he actually in... He wasn't in the... Oh, no, he was in Smokey and the Bandit 3. It was just not him actually... I think they were just using old footage, right?
Smokey and the Bandit 3, yeah, it was kind of a rehash.
He had one... Well, no, Smokey and the Bandit 3 was mostly about the sheriff.
Right. And
I don't think even Junior was in it. I think somebody else was as Junior. Maybe it was. But no, Jerry Reed wasn't in it, and I think it was just one scene with Burt Reynolds in Smokey and the Bandit 3.
I thought Jerry Reed was in it. I thought Jerry Reed was trying to play the bandit.
Oh, that's right. Jerry Reed was in it. He was, like, pretending to be it. I don't remember.
Yeah. No, it is. It's Jerry Reed. It's Jerry Reed, Jackie Gleason.
Yeah.
And then the Big Enos and Little Enos guys. And basically, it's like, hey, we've got another movie that we can make, and probably Burt Reynolds was like, yeah, no, I don't think so. And they probably were like, okay, we can still make a movie without you.
I think it was just shortly after that Jackie Gleason died.
Was it really?
I think he died in like 86 or 87.
Hold on. Yeah, 87. Jackie Gleason died in 87.
Yeah.
Because
he did that dramatic role with Tom Hanks. I forgot the name of the film, but it wasn't long after that.
Wasn't he in Mr. Toy with
The Toy with Richard Pryor?
With Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
He was, but that's like, okay, so the last acting credit that he has is in '86. It's the one with Tom Hanks, the Nothing in Common movie.
Nothing in Common, that was the name of it. Yeah, it was a dramatic role.
Smokey and the Bandit is '83.
Okay.
So, yeah. Yes, well, yeah, then there's the toy, because she kept on calling him U.S. instead of U.S. Because he's supposed to be U.S. Bates, and she kept calling him U.S.
Yeah, I remember I had the Hot Wheels Bandit car as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that was shot. I feel like you had to be a certain age for that to have been a big deal.
Yeah, and people our age, like our heroes, are getting old, man. You look at Arnold these days.
Well, a lot of who we grew up with are just you look at them now and you're just thinking to yourself, my goodness, man, we've come so far.
Oh, that's right. There was another thing about Dawn Wells, who was Mary Ann from Gilligan's Island.
Right.
Turned out she's broke, and there's a GoFundMe for her.
Is it really?
Yeah. Found someone caught her working at Whole Foods or something, and she's like $180,000 in debt or something. So someone set up a GoFundMe.
And then there was the one big blow up with the guy from the Cosby Show who was working at Trader Joe's.
Oh, yeah. And of course he ended up getting job shamed.
Yeah, now he's got
shamed. He's making an honest living, folks.
That's right.
He got a gig out of the whole thing. I can't remember what
his name with you.
I forgot who he's doing stuff with now. He's just getting a gig out of that whole thing. Like a good one too.
Well, you get situations, especially in television, where if you're not careful and you sign away your residuals, man, and you're no longer in demand, you're going back to a regular day job, you know? And there's no shame in having a day job.
Absolutely not.
No,
we all gotta chase that paper.
You know what? I commend him on the fact that, he didn't just like, oh, woe is me, I'm gonna wallow in drug abuse and alcohol and shit, and because I'm not on the Cosby Show and I haven't done anything relevant in years, boo hoo hoo, he's working a job.
I mean, it's not like he hasn't had some work, but I guess he just, thanks to this whole thing, I guess he got a gig with Tyler Perry.
Well, and that's good. I mean, that's a wonderful thing, but a lot of people were just like, oh yeah, well, and then of course they chime in on the whole Bill Cosby thing. Well, good. I'm glad they're all going down the toilet because
that's the one headache with all this stuff about some of these things where it's like, I mean, we talk about this stuff and it's like, good, these guys aren't getting money. But there's a whole crap load of other people, like other actors.
People who worked on the show. Like all the people who worked on Roseanne before she opened her trap.
Yeah, well, but thankfully that's, but I mean, like, think about the people who were getting residual checks from these movies or these shows where they had a role, and, now they're not getting those checks because, well, this happened, so now we can't air this anymore, or we can't do this anymore. It's kind of
yeah, because a lot of times, a lot of what was acceptable in the 60s and 70s and 80s is not acceptable today. So a lot of those episodes get shelved, or what happens is that the contracts were residual. If they syndicate something, and they don't have to honor the residual once it goes into syndication. I mean, there's a lot of lawyer mumbo jumbo that happens in those type of contracts and things. So, yeah, a lot of reasons why, people after a while don't have all that kind of money. Look at what happened to Erin Moran. Happy Days of all places. You would think, oh, well, she started in with Ron Howard and with all those people on that show. And you would think, oh, okay, Penny Marshall and the Marshalls and Gary Marshall and all those very important people that made all those great shows and everything. You would think that they made these groundbreaking hit shows, you would think they would be taken care of for the rest of their lives. No. Okay? Erin Moran was found desolate, penniless, in a trailer.
Yeah, we talked about when Margot Kidder, before she died, there were times where she was homeless.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, there's been, I mean, Jim Carrey before he made it big, there's a period of time where Jim Carrey talks about that he was living in his car. You know, I mean, literally sleeping in his car, you know, and didn't have like a real apartment or anything and whatnot.
Well, so, you know, but we're talking, you know, I mean, this was before he got, we're talking about after it's said and done, when the lights are out and you walk out the studio door and, okay, well, there's no more show, and then you're thinking, okay, you're thinking that those lawyers and all those people in the studio are supposed to be looking out for your best interest, but like for the most of it, you know, they just got what they wanted for themselves, and you know, screw you. And you're on your own after you walk out the door. You know, the price, the appraisal price has just gone down by half as soon as you walk outside. You know, and it's a shame. I mean, Hollywood picks them up and spits them out. Look at the Disney curse.
Yeah.
Of all the young actors and actresses who, you know what, you go on the internet and you find out, oh my gosh, no wonder why we don't see them anymore, because they've died or they're desolate. Or, you know, look what happened to Demi Lovato.
Yeah, a lot of that. Well, she's sick, you know. Well, obviously she has an addiction problem, so.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying before she found out she had all of these problems, I mean, yeah. I mean, look at what happened to, what's another good one? Gosh, I can't think off the top of my head here. But, well, okay, getting back to that point.
But that's typical of a lot of the child actors from the 70s and 80s. Not just the Musketeers.
Oh yeah, well, okay, and then you have, you had a lot of famous people, you know, who were sons and daughters of famous people who could make a go of it, you know, on their own. And then, I mean, even Art Linkletter, who, months before he did an album about his daughter and how great she was and everything like that, only to find out that a few months later she ended up that she had a drug problem, and she ended up jumping out of a multi-story window. You know, being in the shadow of someone who is famous. You know, it's that's that type of sensibility in Hollywood. That's that type of sensibility in the media when that type of thing happens. You know, and it's a shame.
Yeah.
And it's a shame.
Not all about the glitz and glam, that's for sure.
Oh no. There's definitely a gritty underbelly that. If you're not privy to it, you look out. And that's why it's like, you know, that money that those people make and everything, but that's a very high price to pay to have all that money and all that fame and everything, and not being able to just walk outside, breathe the air, look at the stars, sit on your back porch with your buds and everything, knowing that the paparazzi is, you know, just out there waiting to take your picture or waiting for you to trip up so that way they have some kind of sensational thing to put in their podcast or their newspapers or, you know, the internet stories and shit, you know.
Yeah.
Well, but that's...
It's the way things are.
I mean, that's part of how this all works. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, this is kind of what they wanted. And when I say that, I don't mean all the stuff that you're talking about, but yeah,
they wanted the fame, they wanted the fortune, but you know, very few people ever got out of it unscathed. Not the percentages of actors, especially now, than from them. But then wait a minute, that's not true. I'm sorry, because back in the day when motion pictures were being made with the 7-year contracts and the film bosses, you know, Jack L. Warner and Louis B. Mayer.
Yeah, and back then they had a tighter leash on these celebrities' private lives.
Well, yeah, and
not so much now.
Not so much now, because back then if you screwed up, you had these guys who, had you contracted to their studios and everything, they had to take care of their property. That's what you were, property.
Well, but it's different now too. I mean, let's
True.
Let's put this where it is. Things that people could do during. I mean, in today's day and age, you can't go anywhere without somebody having a phone and taping something. If you're anybody of any significance, somebody's got a phone. If it's anything that you're doing that you maybe you shouldn't be. Guess what? It's got to be on the internet. If you wrote something, it's got to be on the internet, and all that stuff is there now. It's a different world now, and people you can't. In some ways, I feel bad because. It used to be some of that stuff got swept under the rug and it wasn't public knowledge, but now everything's public knowledge.
Yeah, well, once you put it out there, it's out there, and there's no taking it back now.
Well, it's an interesting combination because it's between social media and a world full of smartphones where I can take in 2 seconds I can take a picture. Or I can take video and I can put it on the internet. And there's good parts about that, and there's a lot of good reasons why I'm glad we have these things and we can do that kind of stuff. At the same time, there's a reason why we hear more and more stories about athletes than we used to. There's a reason we hear more stories about celebrities and TV personalities and music people and even politicians is because it's a lot, It's not like before. Before, well, did you get a picture of it? No, I don't have a picture of it. Do you have any proof? No, I don't have any proof. Today, I saw this. Did you have any proof? Yeah, here, check out the picture I took.
Yeah, stuff can't get swept under the rug anymore.
Yeah, you can't do that anymore.
I took the movie of it. Here, you want to see what I got?
Right, exactly.
It's on my camera. It's on my camera phone. I mean. And this is why you look at news stories now, and you look at television now, and you see how all of that plays into it, and all the court trials that are happening in this city, and all the stuff that's getting discovered, and how we're seeing things just the way it is, and so much of it is so shocking.
That reminds me. I mean, when you're going to make your major announcement, you're going to make it on this show.
My major announcement?
Yes.
My major announcement?
Yes.
What's this? A major announcement?
Yes.
Ivan, please fill us in.
Have you formed your exploratory committee yet, Ivan?
My major announcement?
Yeah. Aren't you?
It's so secret even Ivan doesn't know.
Running for mayor.
Oh. If I'm going to make my major announcement of who I want for mayor?
No, aren't you going to run? Everybody else is running. Why not Ivan?
Yeah, you're a Chicago resident.
I would love to run for mayor. I mean,
can we promote that? Can we do that? Maybe that's how we get people to listen to the podcast. We created Ivan Rivera for mayor platform. We should. Is that how we get this all to work?
Yes, Rahm Emanuel is retiring after he was not running for re-election next year. Mm-hmm. So we got a whole year and change to come up with this.
We don't have much time. It's February. February is the election.
Okay. We got to get going.
Also, too, I heard that Tony Preckwinkle is amongst the first favorites for mayor now.
I don't know. Let me explain something to you. Right now, everybody's running for mayor.
That's right.
Everybody. I mean, I put out the other day, it's like, when's Kanye coming home to run?
Is Chewy coming back? Remember Chewy?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Chewy Garcia? But isn't Chewy Garcia going for a Senate seat now?
I don't think it's Senate. I think it might be a House seat.
House seat. I know he was going for some kind of seat.
I'm sorry. I can't respect anyone who's named after a Star Wars character running for public office. So, I mean, what is Han Solo? Is Han Solo your chief of staff or something? I don't know. But no, Ivan, you should run.
Jar Jar Binks says Department of Sanitation.
Music clean up all the streets, Annie.
Jar Jar Binks is the He's got to be the city treasurer. Means I have no idea where the money went.
Yeah.
He said, "Oh no." Means I have no idea where the money goes.
He's spending money. Yes, he do.
Sold it to Watto, I guess.
Oh, you want the dollars? Oh.
We take credit, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, we'll get a whole cast of Star Wars. Will be
Will be elected for
Chewie's
the
cabinet.
the
Mayor of Chicago.
The mayor of Chicago and his cabinet.
Yeah, Ivan, you need to run.
Just in time for Celebration next year.
Okay, well, I will run. I will make the announcement. And Ivy Rivera is running for mayor of Chicago.
Absolutely. Why not? You're here.
Thank you. Thank you.
I believe in Ivan Rivera.
You know, that would make for a great shirt opportunity.
I'm serious. You should run for mayor.
I should run for mayor.
Everybody's running for mayor. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of like when everybody ran for governor of California and then Schwarzenegger won. I mean,
get out of the way. I'm feeling
Yeah. Didn't Gary Coleman run too? Gary Coleman ran, and then there was a porn star who ran too, right? Wasn't there? Mary
Sure, why
Carey.
not?
Yeah.
Wasn't Mary Chambers running?
Mary Carey, I think it was.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Mary Chambers.
All right, hold on.
Yeah, check it out.
No, I gotta look this up.
What is the crazy governor race? California Gov.
California Gov.
Crazy race. We'll do crazy.
It was Governor California.
I'm from California. Where was it? What year was that?
In retrospect, I don't think he did too bad a job in California.
Depends who you talk
Too
to.
shabby.
No, it's still there.
Yeah, it has been swept away.
There it is. California recall governor. Okay, hold on.
That's right. When the one guy was recalled, so they had it over an election. That's when Arnold won.
Candidates. Hold on, let's see. Wait, this isn't notable. Where's the other ones? Arnold Schwarzenegger. This is not on the list. Where's the full list? There was like a whole list of crazy.
Isn't there like an internet list of people who have run for office, like crazy celebrities and what?
No, hold on. I gotta find
You'd
this.
think. This day and
I
age.
think there is. I think there is.
Of top 10 lists and all that. Oh, and this, for next week's podcast, I will have my review of the first season of Cobra Kai.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, but so far I'm loving it, so I'm going to finish the series on Wednesday. So it'll be probably already aired by the time I'm going to see it. So
Okay, hold on a second. I'm trying to see. There's got to be a whole list somewhere. Hold on a second. Why are they only giving me freaking Wikipedia? Give me all the rest of them. Okay, see below right. Wait, hold on. Details. Right in. Here we go. Now we're talking. Now we're cooking with gas. Okay, candidates for the California governor included Peter Ueberroth, who was a commissioner of Major League Baseball, Larry Flint.
I remember.
Gary Coleman, Mary Carey. Mary Carey was one of them.
Who?
Mary Carey.
The porn star.
Yeah, she's a porn star. Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's any other names that immediately jump out at me. This list is insane. This list is okay. All right. Wow. Holy cow. They had over. Okay, they had a lot of places that were tied. They had over 154 people run for this position.
In the same election, 154 candidates.
The same election.
Wow.
Apparently, some of this was write-in. Other list of candidates in write-in. Apparently, Ariana Huffington was in this election, too. I didn't realize that.
Is she still involved with the Huffington Post, or did she retire?
I have no idea.
Was that?
I have no idea. You know, that's a really good question. I think she...
Maybe she stepped down.
No, it looks like she stepped down in 2016.
Oh, okay, yeah.
She's doing some other new startup, something called Thrive Global, according to this.
Never heard of it.
Health and wellness information.
It doesn't involve zombies.
Sure. Why not? Why not?
Way to go, Ariana.
Ariana was originally from where? Greece? No, that's not a good place for if you want to stay alive from zombies, apparently.
Speaking of Ariana, you hear that controversy over what happened at Aretha Franklin's funeral? Where the bishop is kind of grabbing
Forget that.
Ariana Grande?
Did you see the video of, like, the guys in the front row, including Clinton, who have this look on their face like, baby?
Oh, man. Ariana Grande.
Yeah, really.
Oh, man.
Oh, my gosh.
She looks pretty good to me.
Yeah, that whole debacle that is...
the one guy grabbed her. Like, just feels sick just watching it. What a jackhole.
Yeah.
The way he grabbed her, come on, he know what he's doing. He knew exactly what he was doing.
But the thing is, too, you saw the way Ariana Grande was dressed. Do you think that was appropriate for your funeral?
And no. No,
I'm okay with it.
No, it was not appropriate for a funeral.
I'm okay with it.
I was just pissed off of the way guy grabbed her. Like a dirty old man.
Yeah, jerk. Well, it's just... And then, of course, from the thousands of memes that ended up on Facebook and Instagram of, how they all made fun about how long the funeral ended up becoming. Somebody put a picture up there, like 10 DVD volumes. Is like, and now available for your viewing pleasure, the entire Aretha Franklin funeral, situation.
Didn't they do a similar thing for Michael Jackson's funeral? I think I remember Mariah Carey saying, "I'll be there."
Yeah, exactly.
She couldn't get through it. She stumbled through it because she was so emotionally overwhelmed.
Right.
Just standing in front of the casket of one of the greatest pop musicians of all time.
He was the king of pop.
Yeah. But I think they had a similar musical event for his funeral.
Right.
As he did for Aretha.
So, I mean, because I did see a cartoon that kind of charmed me. And it was a single panel cartoon, and it was of scene of heaven, surrounded by clouds and stuff. And there was the king of pop, the king of rock and roll, and they had all of the Duke Ellington, Count Basie, they had all of these people of royal name, and they all bowed down, and then they all said together, "Here comes the Queen," which I thought was really neat.
Yeah, they had a similar one-panel shot of the pearly gates, and it's a very heavenly, very majestic scene. Then it's Buford D. Justice in the front saying, "I've been waiting for you, you son bitch."
Yeah.
For Bandit, yeah.
But okay, now since we're talking a little bit about Aretha Franklin, I mean, do you guys have a favorite Aretha Franklin song or a favorite show that you saw Aretha Franklin? I mean, do you guys like Aretha Franklin?
I remember, during Driver's Ed, I remember my radio station played, "We going riding on the freeway of love in a pink Cadillac."
Yeah.
You're hearing that all the time during Driver's Ed. That's what sticks out for me. Of course, her performance in the Blues Brothers movie, that's one everyone seems to share.
Mm-hmm.
But, no, I didn't really have,
Yeah, I think for a lot of people, it's the Blues Brothers because...
Well, I mean, that's an iconic film.
Yeah.
And everybody associates so many people because... Okay, and John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd had the vision to bring all of these people. I mean, both of them being from Illinois and such. By the way, did I mention that that John Belushi was in a Chicago band for a little while?
No.
Yes, he was. He was in a band in high school, and he made 145. He was in a group called the Ravens, and they did the Jolly Green Giant.
Okay. I mean, it doesn't shock me. I mean, you're talking about. I mean, given the Blues Brothers, none of that kind of shocks me. So.
Yeah, and so Yeah, so it's like everybody thinks, oh, well, John Belushi, I mean, this was like his first ever singing thing. No, he had been singing a long time. It was one of his favorite things to do.
Yeah, stage performances. You saw that from Saturday Night Live. I mean, he wasn't afraid to just during the early days of SNL, where he'd just do a song up on stage.
Right, exactly, and so that being said, I mean, yeah. So as far as like Aretha Franklin, up until the point of that movie, in 1979, 1980, I think around there, Aretha Franklin, had, I mean, her career was never really in a downturn, but music was changing, and that's when thou music and R&B music became urban contemporary music and Quiet Storm, and like many of those singers were trying to brave the waters at that time, and she all of her records that she made for Atlantic and such, and it wasn't up until she started working for Arista that things started picking up for her, but it was a long way back for her. And, but so that Blues Brother movie did give, Aretha Franklin's career a definite shot in the arm. And then also, with the Blues Brothers 2000, which, she was also in that one as well. I don't hold that one it's too much a higher regard because, well, let's face it, for what they tried to do with it, certain things just should not be remade. Certain things should not be extended upon their base and such. I mean, there should be, that wasn't a case where a number 2 I didn't feel was necessary to have because it stood alone on its own.
1998, I was flying back from California. I took the red eye from LAX to Chicago, and it was it was a horrible flight. It was crowded, and I was in a middle seat between the aisles, and it was a terrible flight. And the in-flight movie was Blues Brothers 2000.
Oh boy. Oh, you poor man.
And having to watch it with the headphones off, I'm like, ugh.
Is it better or worse than Caddyshack 2?
Worse.
Really?
Caddyshack 2 had one or two funny moments, but it obviously didn't.
That movie was bad. It was
bad.
Bad
sequels like Grease 2. Grease 2, I remember watching it as a kid when it was on cable all the time, and I thought it was great, but now I couldn't watch Grease 2.
No, just like more American Graffiti. Why? American Graffiti just had an anniversary, so I mean, 45 years.
I watched Grease 2 the other day. It was, there were sections I wanted to see, and there were sections I kind of went through. God, Michelle Pfeiffer looks young.
Yeah.
Wow, is she?
Yeah, she was pretty good looking back then.
Well, yeah, I mean, and the other guy went on to do. Was it? Yeah, it was the spinoff for Dynasty. The guy who played the guy for the Australian sounding guy.
Falcon Crest?
Which guy? No, he didn't do Falcon Crest. He did. I think he was on the Colbys.
Okay.
Is that it?
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
There was the spinoff. There was the spinoff. I know that, and then he was in that, and I remember he did that, but.
Yeah, we've had our share of bad sequels, but actually, like, several movies in my top 10 movies of all time are sequels. Like Superman 2, Wrath of Khan, Terminator 2. They're, like, my favorite movies. Like, sometimes the sequel does do better than the first one, I'd say.
Yeah, he did the Colbys, which was a spin-off.
Spin-off of Dynasty, yeah.
Dynasty from 95 to 97. And actually, I didn't realize he was in this. He was in Empire Records, which is kind of like an occult favorite of certain people. I just don't remember. I don't know what role he was. I'd have to go back and watch. I haven't seen Empire Records in ages.
The movie Empire Records or the series?
Yeah, the movie.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, he's in that apparently, which I was kind of surprised about. He plays.
Excuse me, my record doesn't have a hole in it. Oh, well, come into the office. I can take care of that for you.
Is that in that movie? I haven't seen that one in ages.
Yeah, that's in that movie.
Is it?
It's what made me think of that. You know, I mean, it's a good record. It's a good record movie. You know, unlike High Fidelity.
I knew you were going to say that.
You know,
I knew you were going to say that. How can you not like a John Cusack movie?
No. I mean, I love John Cusack. I just didn't like John Cusack or Jack Black in that movie. I'm sorry. Okay?
Again.
No.
Yeah, you are.
No.
Exactly. I mean, you know, I'm sorry. I don't like to be thought of that. Yeah, I'm a record collector, but I don't, and a person who works with records, but I don't want to think of myself as being one of those neurotic people. No. You know, I'm sorry. It comes back to a thing I read in the Facebook where, they say that record collectors are introverted and lonely. And I'm thinking, no.
I wouldn't describe you as lonely, Ivan.
No, I mean, and I can speak for a lot of people who collect records who are not lonely, and then of course the word middle-aged comes into that whole thing. Oh,
no,
you know,
Ivan is clearly a senior citizen.
Yes,
you know,
indeed.
You know, and you know, and guess what? I earned these wisdom highlights. With all of that makes me. And guess what? I'm proud of that.
All right, we all love you anyway, Ivan.
I'm proud of that.
And when you're mayor, you're going to help all the other senior citizens.
Yes, I will. I will do that.
Don't shoot. You screwed up your lines. This is not going to be a good campaign.
Oh, well, wait. You know, I mean, I could be very helpful as mayor. I think I can be very fair. I think I'd like to think of myself as a very fair person.
Okay, Ivan, what are you going to do to get Amazon?
Pardon me?
What are you going to do to get Amazon here to Chicagoland?
Yeah.
What am I going to do to get Amazon here in Chicago?
Get that big Amazon warehouse.
Yeah, Amazon 2, the second headquarters.
All those jobs.
Lots of jobs.
Lots of jobs.
So many jobs. It's going to be great.
It'll be fabulous. You're going to love it.
Yes, they're gonna love it. They're gonna love our Windy City. They're gonna love the fact that you want to bring Amazon here to Chicago. All right, I'll make it tempting for you. Yes, I will make it to where. All right, I'll give you all the amenities that people who work for Amazon are gonna deserve. You know what? People like free parking.
And community chest and chance.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. With cards that you can pull. Yes, today you just got a raise. There you go.
We got all 4 railroads.
That's right. You get all 4 railroads. And then on those 4 railroads, you got 4 ways to get through the Amazon warehouse.
Right through Marvin Gardens.
Through Marvin Gardens.
That's right.
That's right.
So we've officially kicked off Ivan's mayoral campaign here on Squares of the Round Table podcast.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, you guys will get a kick out of this. Apparently Kanye West claims that he's going to be teaching a course at the Art Institute of Chicago and the American Academy of Art. There's just one small problem.
What's that?
Neither of them are aware that he's planning on teaching the course.
They are now.
Another TMZ moment is about to brew.
And apparently there was another one in which he said he'd be doing Chicago Comedy Jam, and he'd restore the Regal Theater, which would be a good thing. And then I guess he's talking about putting a Yeezy office. Yeezy is his rapper line for apparel and footwear in Chicago. I'm kind of surprised he doesn't have one already, considering the fact that he's Chicago-born. Honestly, seriously, I think we're making a mistake. We need to get Kanye to be not president. We need Kanye to be mayor. We need Kanye to be mayor because then Kim will come here. And if Kim has to come here, they have to bring all the Kardashians, which means that we bring an entire production of an entire...
This sounds a little self-serving, Jeff.
Wait, well, I'm not going to... There's logic here. which is you have to bring the entire Keeping Kardashians crew here. Therefore, it's more jobs and more local, and it's more for the city. And could you imagine what that would look like? Mayor Kanye and the first mayor, the first lady of Chicago is Kim Kardashian. I'm sorry, I'm for this. I think that there's a possibility that we could get more publicity out of this. Just don't bring in Taylor Swift. Don't
First family with Northwest.
Wow. My political career just got derailed.
Don't get derailed. If you bring Kim Kardashian, your career is going right up the ramp.
If you, dear listener, would like to have Ivan run from air, let us know. You can send us an email at sotrtpodcast@gmail.com.
He's trying to end the show.
Thank you for that. Thank you for your endorsement there, Mike, and your endorsement there, Jeff. I appreciate that. And you out there, vote for me. It'll be fun.
Yeah. We need to create like things for Ivan. Vote for Ivan. Why not?
That's right. You need to give him some stuff to do. He's the mayor. I hear that takes a bit of your time up.
By the way, I do have one amusing thing. Apparently in Washington, D.C., you have to watch out for rats because, and when I say this, I mean the real ones, because apparently they're quite smart.
Not just the politicians.
Not the politicians, real actual rats. Apparently one leaped from a railing and pulled the fire alarm, causing an entire condo building to be evacuated this past summer.
Oh, no.
Apparently there's video of this, which is awesome.
Why is this fire alarm handle exposed?
No idea. Why would...
Somebody got careless.
He was trying to cook a ratatouille.
Yeah, I don't know. Look,
you're
Mike,
supposed to chew it. Don't mark it down.
Mike, it was either that story or the story about the woman who's got breasts that are 164 triple X.
Wow.
Oh,
how do you walk?
Dear God.
You need a wheelbarrow in front of you.
She says she can walk.
That's almost as wicked as the lady who could smash cans with her breast. Have you seen that?
They said the best is the interview is is two people from a morning show in Australia. I should post this thing because it was kind of funny because the questions were rather curt. And the one guy's talking about how one of her breasts weighs the same as 2 watermelons in like a grocery tote.
Jeez.
Yeah.
There's also a woman who continually keeps adding breast augmentation and butt augmentations to her body because she wants to have the biggest breast and the biggest ass of any woman on earth.
Well, she wants to do this ass. All you gotta do is go to Washington. Okay, that's probably where we should have.
Ba-dum-bum.
And with that, folks,
Yeah.
thanks for joining us here at the Squares of the Round Table. And Mike, where can they find us?
We're on Facebook, obviously. Give us a like. Follow our page. We appreciate it. We are on Instagram and Twitter at SOTRT Podcast. And I gave you the email. I'll give it to you once again. How about that? SOTRTpodcast@gmail.com. Send us a comment if you'd like. We appreciate it.
There you go.
Yes, we do. All right, gentlemen. Well, it's been fun. We did what we needed to do. The Force was with us, and now it's time to say goodbye and all our family.
That's right.
You know.
I'm jumping into my black Trans Am, and I'm out of here.
Yeah. And we need to start the campaign.
There you go. I am off to make posters and pennants.
Get little buttons.
And little buttons.
Start kissing babies, Ivan.
Yeah.
There you go. I will start kissing babies
We need a platform. We need to have a platform. We need a real platform for you.
All right.
Good, though. Free parking is a good start.
I got some extra 2x4s in the shed. I can get a platform.
Oh, yeah, and then you just got some 2x2s to line up against those 2x4s.
Yes.
It's
2x2, 2x3, whatever it takes.
I'm a big dude, you know.
All right, gentlemen. Have a great week, and thanks for listening to the show.
All right. Thanks, everybody. See you next week. Take care.